Let's take a look at page 124. We have an example of how to use models to add and subtract fractions. So it says identify the value of an object, picture, or distance as a whole. Then it says partition each whole into the number of parts equal to the least common denominator of the fractions. So, and then it says add or subtract. So example 1. So you would look at your whole number and then you would partition it into tenths. So then we have 10 parts, then we shade in 5 of those 10, which actually is a half, isn't it? And then you're gonna look at the next one, which is 2/5, but we're gonna also give it a new name of tenths. Remember, 2/5 equals blank tenths. We're doing what to the 5, or the denominator, multiplying it times 2 times 2. So that is why it's renamed to 4/10. Remember, these are now compatible. And 5/10 plus 4/10 equals how many tenths? 9/10. You add it together. They can communicate because they're all in tenths. All right, so the next one is where you're taking 5/6 and then you're subtracting 2/3. Well, 5/6, you can look at it to begin with, is 5 parts in all. Then you're taking off 2/3. Well, you could think of the thirds as being, there's 1/3 of it plus another third of it. So you have, sorry about that, y'all. 5/6 minus 2 of those thirds away, what does it leave? 1/6. In my opinion, I think it's better for you to go ahead and you can look at the picture and see what's happening, but find like denominators. All right, so you have 6 parts and you have 6 parts. So this is 5/6. This is times 2 times 2. 5/6 minus 4/6 equals 1/6. All right, well, there we go. All right, the next one, we're going to determine the least common denominator. The least common denominator cannot be 0. Then you're going to look at the multiples of 3. Look at your multiples of 3. So what's your least multiple? All right, 3, 6. Then you're going to look at your multiples of 6. 6, what's the first one they have in common? It's 6. So you're going to rewrite these fractions. It's just like what we've been doing, into 6 parts. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. 6 times 1 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. So now we're going to, at the bottom, they ask you to draw a model and complete the equation to show the sum or the difference. So what we're going to do in this one is we're going to start with 1/4. So you can start with your, here's your model of it, 1/4. That would be this part right here, 1/4. And then you're going to take the same thing and you're going to now put it into eighths. And you can do that by 1/2 and 1/2. And now this time I'm going to shade in 3 of those eighths. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. So then now we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 8. And in my opinion, go back to your math. 1/4 plus 3/8. You'll find like denominators. This is times 2 times 2. This is still 3/8, and you can see, but doing the same math, you end up with like, your answers are alike. So let's look at this one where you have 11/12. You are going to take this and divide it into, okay, let's see, we're going to do this into 12 parts. Well, that's 1, okay, 1, and if I do here, that's 6 parts, and then we can divide each one of those into halves. So that ends up making it have 12 parts. So 11/12 would be all of it. 11/12, and then you're taking away a third. Well, where's a third in this thing? A third, in my opinion, you could go right on back and do 11/12 minus 1/3. Always go back to the math You're going to turn this into twelfths. This is times 4 times 4. So 11 twelfths minus 4 twelfths. So you're taking away this one, this one, this one, and this one. What does that leave in the end? 11 minus 4 equals 7 twelfths. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, fabulous. Moving on to this one, you're going to find a common denominator, and then you're going to add or subtract on this. So if I have eighths, can I count by 4s and land on 8? Right. All I did was multiply each one by 1. You just gave it the same name. 4 times what equals 8? Times 2. 1 times 2 is 2. So 2 eighths plus 3 eighths equals 5 eighths. I hope you're getting these. Okay, last one. We're going to turn these into twelfths because I can count by 3s and land on 12. 11 twelfths. This is times 1 times 1. 3 times 4 equals 12. 1 times 4 equals 4. 11 minus 4 equals 7 twelfths. So you've got the pictures, and then you have the actual working out of the problem.